Welcome and thank you for joining us here on this installment of Ship to Shore. Today, I'm delighted to be talking to one of the rising stars in maritime industry. Ayanda Sikobi holds a Bachelor of Science degree and an honors degree in economics from the University of Kwa-Zulu Natal. Ayanda co-authored an article entitled Operation Pakisa 2.0. Let's continue to have thoughtful conversations about the ocean's economy. Now, she's getting ready for Malmö, Sweden, for a master's degree at the World Maritime University. Ayanda, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me this morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
As a way of introduction, share with us briefly your background, primary and secondary schooling.
Yeah, sure. As you have said, I'm Ayanda Sikobi. I was literally born and raised in Kushevston, the south coast of KZN. So I was born in Kushevston Hospital 20-something years ago. I grew up in Kushevston from primary straight up to high school, and I'm the youngest of 5 kids. So in 2013, I matriculated in Kushevston, then I moved to Durban, and I've been in Durban since 2014 till this very day.
I see. Now, you were a student at the University of Kwa-Zulu Natal for your bachelor's degree and in economics and honors degree majoring also in economics. You seem to have a thing for economics.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? If you don't, then you're doing the wrong thing. Economics is basically the fundamentals of learning how to control the economy, how to spend your money, how to budget. I have like the strong feeling that everyone should understand what the economy is all about, basic economics. So I feel like it should be part of the primary and the high school curriculum for everyone, like learning why prices are based the way they are, what contributes to inflation, how the banks control the currency and everything. So it's just the basics that made me fall in love with economics from the get-go. But to tell you the honest truth, the reason why I chose economics, one of my aunts, she is an economist by profession. So she's one of those people that I looked up to like from a very young age growing up. I was like, you know what, I want to be like this woman growing up. So she kind of did play a role in influencing me to like become an economist or study economics. But as time went by, I realized that no, I want to do the same economics that she did, but she's more to development economics. And I fell in love with the maritime industry. So economics is very broad. You get industry, you get development, you get financial, you get maritime. So I just fell in love with the maritime.
Okay, no, that's fantastic. Actually, that pretty much answers the question. The next question I was going to ask you in terms of how you got interested in maritime, seeing that you've got a strong economics background. Now, you, at the beginning of 2019, you got an opportunity to join the EThekwini Maritime Cluster. How did this opportunity come about?
Okay, well, I'm currently based in Durban and I'm currently still working for EThekwini Maritime Cluster.
Sure.
So the opportunity came about through the graduate placement program. So I'll just give you a brief background as to what that's about. So EThekwini Maritime Cluster is an NPO. They facilitate stakeholder engagements. They're like the middleman within the maritime economy for the EThekwini region. So they connect big organizations with the private sector. They lobby government and all that stuff. So the graduate placement program, they usually take graduates from university, from TVET colleges and colleges around KZN in Durban specifically. So you submit your CV through EMC for the graduate placement program. So for that, they work with TETA, which is the Transport Education Training Authorities. So TETA pays the stipend for the graduates. So as EMC, because I still work there, as EMC, we will collect the CVs and we will place the graduates in different organizations. So we place graduates in AMSOL, we place graduates in Transnet, we placed a few in SA Shipyards, in CEDA, and different other entities. within the maritime industry. So if anyone watching here is a graduate and you're interested in getting a job within the maritime industry, so I'd suggest that you email the CV through to EThekwini Maritime Cluster and they can make things happen.
Okay. Okay, no, that's great. There you are an enterprise development officer.
Yay.
What does this role entail, and how has it enriched your understanding and perspective of the maritime industry?
Well, as the role says, enterprise development officer, you essentially assisting small SMEs to gain access into the mainstream of the maritime economy. So currently, there's a program that we're running with our beneficiaries. It's a 3-year program that we partnered with Transmitting. So we develop SMEs with their different aspects of the maritime industry. We chose 3 commodities, which was waste management, we chose stevedoring, and we chose occupational health and safety. So within the 3-year program, we assist those small SMEs, we develop them, we teach them the fundamentals like business management, how to apply for the tender process, and how to develop a business plan, how to pitch for funding, and so forth. So we take you through a 3-year guided structured program. So this year is the final year of that 3-year program, and then next year we'll have a new intake. So basically, it's just helping small SMEs to get access into the maritime industry, because initially what used to happen is that, say there's a tender that comes out from Transnet. The tender will be won by the same big companies over and over again. So what does that mean? That means that SMEs are not winning. It's like a barrier to entry. You cannot enter into the space. So that's what we usually do. We assist these small SMEs to help them align themselves for such opportunities. That when they come, they will be ready to participate in the maritime industry.
How has the response been like from from the ground? The enterprises, are they there? Is there a shortage of SMEs, more especially those who are Black owned?
Well, there are SMEs out there. I won't say there's a shortage, there's a lot. But to enter into the industry, there are rigid policies and they need permits, like you need a permit, you need a license to operate in a certain industry. Like for waste management, you need to apply for waste management permits to collect waste within the pods. Same with stevedoring, you need a permit or a license. So the failure rate of small SMEs is huge because they don't have the equipment to do the business. Like for stevedoring, you're going to need the cranes to handle the containers from the ship to the truck and so forth. Same thing as well will happen with waste management. You need a permit for that as well. And I think a waste management license, the last time I took was like 33,000. So you're a small SME, you're still starting up. Where would you get 33,000 to just buy a permit? And on top of that, you're going to need a truck. You're going to need to get space for your office. You're going to need space to dispose your waste. So those are the barriers and the challenges that we are facing. But there are a lot of SMEs, they're willing, they're ready, they put in the efforts, but the problem is with the permits and the license.
Okay, no, that's great. You have now been part of the maritime industry for close to 2 years. What positive developments and areas of improvement have you observed in the industry from your experience with a multi-stakeholder organization like the EMC?
Well, the first negative thing I just explained now is that how the industry is regulated and they have a lot of permit requirements and licensing issues. So that really, it stops small SMEs from entering into the space. So you get the same companies winning things over and over again. But there's a lot of good happening within the industry. Like when I arrived, there weren't that many females taking up executive positions. But over the 2-year reign that I've been at EMC, I'm seeing more females enter into the industry. I'm learning about women who are now executives, and there's more youth within the industry because the maritime industry in general, it's classified or it's characterized by an aging population. So vast majority of them are old people and they are about to retire. So those skills we need to absorb those skills. So we need to get more young people within the maritime industry. So with the high unemployment rates that's going on right now, there's going to be a gap in the market. There's going to be skills that are just going to go MIA, like with the boat building and the ship repair industry. That specific sector is characterized by an aging population and it is slowly dying. Whereas that is the very same industry that creates a lot of employment, it creates a lot of jobs, and it has potential. But the problems with the demographics of our working age population within that specific sector. And if you look at the oil and gas industry, I've noticed that there's been improvement in there as well. There's been more female representation throughout. I'm seeing ladies like Uzo Mo, or she works for Total Garage. No, sorry, Total, the Total or Total?
Let's call it
the
Total.
petroleum company. Total, yes. She's based there, she's doing really, really good.
Okay, no, that's great. That's really good to hear. Now, as I mentioned in my introductory comments, you co-authored an article that looked at the challenges in implementing Operation Pakisa and offered possible solutions. Women in shipping is one of the challenges that is noted in the article. You've highlighted this in your earlier response. Considering the strides highlighted in last month's celebrations, do you see any progress in shipping specifically and maritime broadly? As I said earlier, you sort of touched on this question earlier.
Yes, there is a little bit of change that is evidential within the industry, and specifically with cadets, female cadets. Before there was a misrepresentation, women were underrepresented within the cadet space, but now we see more cadets. Like they're growing, they're making their mark, they taking up space. So I feel as though, but there's still a need to get more females within the maritime industry. But I won't really say it's a female or a male problem, but African cadets as a general. There's an article that came out, I think it was 2013, if I'm not mistaken. South African cadets, they were on a ship abroad and they were receiving their payments at a very later stage compared to when they're supposed to be paid on the exact date. So they decided to down tools on board. So that's not going to give you a good reputation to the international market. So I would say that as cadets going abroad, I think we should carry our flag on a very high note, like we should represent our country well. So probably that's why countries and certain lands are reluctant when it comes to taking South African cadets, because they have that picture in mind that we just want the money. So we need to be, I don't know, change our approach in way of doing things.
Yeah, look, a few weeks back, I was speaking to a guy from Ireland, and he had been sponsored by Maersk for his cadetship studies, for his navigational studies. And so we spoke about this problem of...
That's Matthew.
That's Matthew, right. And then he said, I think that one of the common things between ourselves and UK is the fact that Maersk is no longer taking cadets or navigators from both countries. So South Africa now is facing that problem in terms of we've lost one employer, one global employer for the cadets.
And Maersk is huge.
Yeah, Maersk is definitely huge. So so people who are not flying the flag of the country properly are doing great damage to the brand of the country.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, quite.
I think we need to work on that as cadets and future cadets. So we need to carry ourselves with pride.
No, quite. As a young Black woman, now, how would you characterize your experience in the shipping industry or in the maritime space?
Wow. It's been almost 2 years, and I must say, the industry is as wide as the ocean. There's a lot to learn. There's definitely a lot to learn in the maritime industry. So in my 2-year experience, or my 2-year tenure within the industry, I've been working behind the desk, but I've done a little bit of operational tours. I've been on site for logistics and warehousing. I've been to SA Cargo Services. I've been to SA shipyards. I've been to TNPA offices to learn just about the operations. But from my 2 years working behind the desk, I've learned a lot. I've learned about policies, I've learned about regulations, I've learned about tariffs, and I'm a research enthusiast by nature, so I love doing research. I worked as a part-time research assistant for a professor at UPTN at the Graduate School of Business. So from there, he is more towards the maritime industry. So I used to spend time with him. So we used to discuss things about the maritime industry, maritime economy, going forth. So from there, I've learned a lot about the industry, but I'm more towards scholarly articles and what they write. But then I want to get into the operational side of it. So I can't say I've learned a lot, but I did learn a few things within my 2 years because it's a very broad industry. I've also dabbled in aquaculture and aquaponics, which is something that most people characterize as being under the agricultural sector, but it does link to the maritime economy.
No, quite. Look, nowadays, you can't begin or end any conversation without talking about the coronavirus.
Definitely.
Every single, town, village, and hamlet in the world. How have you been affected by the pandemic, both personally and your work?
Personally, wow, it's been rough. Yeah, I know a few people who actually tested positive for COVID, had to battle with the virus, but fortunately, I haven't really lost anyone that's close.
Okay.
But yeah, a few people that I'm close to have lost people who they were close to. So that does have a ripple effect on your life because you care about those people, you know. So it's, yeah, psychologically, it's been a lot trying to comfort people, trying to counsel people. On a work perspective, it's been doing a lot of damage. A lot of things were put on hold. This whole thing of connecting online. I'm more of a face-to-face person. I love being around people. So being online and Zoom, it works, but then I still prefer being around people, you know, human interaction. Yeah.
No, it's very important. We are social beings, so we need to interact with human beings all the time.
Exactly. I feel like it's just so depressing being away from people. I can't.
So you've not been able to go into the office ever since the beginning of the lockdown?
No, we've been at the office. During stage 5, we had a complete shutdown, so we were working from home. So when we moved to level 2, we started going back to the office, but not every day. We just alternate to take turns. It's like a roster. So each person will go in for like 2 days a week. So if I'm here on Monday and I'll come in on Thursday, and then on Tuesday it's someone else's day, and yeah, just rotate. So just to keep the whole social distancing and to avoid, you know, contracting the virus and spreading it to other people. You know.
No, great. Now coming to more important issues. You are now on your way to the World Maritime University, Malmo, Sweden, for your Masters in Maritime Affairs. Share with us how this opportunity came your way.
Wow. Yeah, I'm actually leaving on Sunday. So it's happening. It's really happening. Slowly kicking in. At first I was excited, but not that excited. But now that it's happening, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm anxious. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yes.
Okay, so how did the opportunity come about? Okay, well, at our office, we usually work with TETA, the Transport Education Training Authority. So the scholarship was funded by TETA. It's like an annual thing every year. They show the poster, they circulate it online for people to apply to do their masters in World Maritime University. So the process, you first apply at the university, and if you get accepted, then you can then apply for your scholarship with TETA. So that's how the opportunity came about. It was just pure luck researching online and oh look here, TETA, World Maritime University, we apply.
Okay. Now it seems like a straightforward process.
It is.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I looked at your at one article that actually explained the program that you are going to be undertaking. You have selected the Shipping and Management and Logistics SET Master's Program, as opposed. You've selected this program as opposed to a number of other programs, but more specifically, which would be aligned to what you would have, I thought you would have chosen, port management. Why have you chosen Shipping Management and Logistics Program as opposed to port management or any other program offered by the World Maritime University?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I've been working behind the desk and I'm happy, but I'm not really that happy. I feel like I'm not learning that much from behind the desk.
Okay.
So I want to get involved in the actual operations. Funny enough, port management was my second option, but shipping management and logistics was the first. So with shipping management and logistics, there's room for you to learn about the operations. It's more diverse, in my opinion, and there's also room for you to actually establish your own organization, your own company. You can actually establish your own shipping line, get into the logistics and supply chain of the whole thing, as opposed to just port management. You just have to work for, well, it has to be the company because they are the port regulators. So I just wanted to go like with something completely different. When I get my hands dirty, when I get into the actual operations, when I get active, you know, when you're hungry and like there's a deep desire for you to actually do something, you just want to be all hands on, all involved. So port management, it's okay, it's nice, it's interesting, but I just want to get active. I want to get into the actual operations.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
Look, you're going abroad. I don't know if you've been abroad before.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, fantastic. Now, what are your expectations of the program, first of all, and the university, and then since you're going abroad, what are expectations of the city, Malmo, Sweden?
My expectations of the university. I did my research. It's a proper institution. They usually host a lot of professionals, and when you look at the alumni from the university, it's very high profile people. So I feel like you're learning a lot of things at the university. The people that I know who've been there, they're doing great things, doing big things within the maritime industry. One of the people I know, she started her own consultancy agency for the maritime industry. There's also a lady who's working for service right now. She was with Translate before that. I know a guy who used to work for ENC, but now he's with the pod regulator. And there's a lot of people. There's another guy that I replaced at the office. He left the office with the same scholarship. He did pod management and he's back in the country now. So all the people who go there, they come back very, very successfully. So I feel like there's something that they do to you at that university. They just push you, they just drive you. You're bound to be a success when you come back from the university. So that is my expectation. I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to make friends, I'm willing to just, I don't know, grasp wherever that it has to throw at me. I'm very excited about the opportunities, you can tell. With regards to the city itself, Malmo, I've interacted with a few people from Malmo.
Sure.
In 2012, when I was still in high school, there was an exchange program and there was a girl from Sweden. I had to host that home, so we lived with her for like a week.
Okay.
And from my experience with her and her group of friends from Malmo, they're very nice people, very friendly, very relaxed. So I feel like I already have family that side. So I will fit it in a way. Yeah. So I won't be that bored or lonely or like with the complete strangers. But they're very nice people from what I've experienced.
Yeah, no, just make sure you've packed all your warm clothes because
I did. I'm so afraid of the cold and it's ridiculous. Like I bought huge jackets. I'm just trying to make sure that I just keep warm. And I bought a whole lot of vitamin D supplements as well.
Okay. Good. Look, EThekwini is the General Secretary of the International Maritime Organization. He is a graduate from the World Maritime University. Now, you are going to the World Maritime University. What contributions would you like to make to the industry, leveraging the qualification that you would have acquired from the university?
Yeah, like I said, I'm a huge research enthusiast, and I also love being part of actual operations. So I look forward to engaging myself with the actual operations of the shipping and logistics side of things, whilst also doing a bit of research as to how we can improve that. So if you look at China, China is like the world class when it comes to maritime industry. There's a port terminal in China that's called Jingdao terminals. They call it the ghost port. There's literally no one on site. Everything is fully automated. So if you can do a bit of research on that and how South Africa can also automate their own maritime industry to a certain extent to make sure that people don't completely lose their jobs, but to make sure that there's more efficiency within the industry. Because recently we've been getting on articles and headlines about the inefficiencies in translates, the truck that are just taking forever to get out of the port. There's traffic vessels on sea, there's traffic on the road. So with the logistics side of things, I feel like we're way behind, is lacking. We need to automate to just improve efficiency. And with the shipping side of things as well, there's a lot that could be done, from tracking of containers to preventing piracy to preventing loss and theft. And yeah, there's a lot. But applying more research to the industry can be very, very efficient and very helpful going forward.
Yeah, no, I've actually visited the Yangshan port. I think you made reference to it, or a port of similar function. Yeah, at the time that I was there, they were actually at the final phase of the port being made completely autonomous. So, I mean, that is
Mm.
really um, ahead, or what?
It's interesting though.
It is. It's very, very interesting, and it's the technology that they use is the best in the world. And but I mean, it will take time for us, and it should take time for us to be able to get to that level, because we've got,
Yeah.
yeah, unemployment. I think you touched on this issue already. Unemployment issues that we need to sort of keep a hand on, or a lead on. So I think we should take time to get to the automation part. But I do take your point. It's quite a valid point that automation does aid efficiency, no doubt.
Mm. Mm. Yes.
No, quite. Now, as we move to the conclusion of our conversation, look, there have been many people who have supported you, not only just to gain this opportunity to be able to go abroad and study abroad, but also, leading up to this moment as well. There have been many people who have, opened doors for you and supported you in many different ways. Are there any people you'd like to mention at this point?
I hope I don't forget anyone's name. And if I do, please forgive me. But yeah, just to start off, the entire EMC team, from training and skills division to managing director Oman Zenzi, for being a good mentor, for guiding us through as interns, for allowing us to grow within the industry and allowing us to take such opportunities. I mean, like, it's not every day we get to interact with high profile people, and it's not every day we get to study abroad. So if your manager is already happy for you and she believes in you, that plays a huge role in driving you forward towards the future. So I'd like to thank the entire EMC team, from the board to the staff members that I work with every day. Dr. Fiki Leposhen, who's one of the people I look up to, who I co-author an article with. She's beyond phenomenal. I look up to her. She's a mentor, she's a spiritual guidance as well. So there's also Upriti Molefe, she works for SAMSA. I look up to her as well. Here and there, every now and again, we touch bases. I just like to irritate and like trouble her. I'm like a little sister now. Every now and again, I go and ask for guidance. Every now and again, I at her like, oh my gosh, this is so nice. When I grow up, I just want to be like you know, all that stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, there's a lot of people that I look up to. I hope I'm not, oh yes, Professor Chisamiris at UKZN. He played a huge role in making me what I am today. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of, I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. My parents as well, my friends, I don't know who I'm forgetting. But sorry if I forgot your name, but I look up to everyone. I just want to thank everyone for their contribution, their belief, their support. And I'd like to thank you as well for this platform. So I hope someone's inspired by watching this video. So yeah, that's it.
No qualms, no. Thank you very much. No, thank you very much. And I hope everyone listening to this conversation will have something and be inspired and know, because I think your story is a very beautiful story. Very beautiful story. But yes,
Thank you.
yeah, Ayanda, thank you so much for availing yourself for this interview. We would like, as Ship to Shore, to wish you all the best with your future endeavors and the journey that you're about to undertake. And really, may God bless you. Quite.
Thank you.
To our viewers, thank you for joining us here on Ship to Shore. Thank you again. Be safe and goodbye.